So today we're going to be making radish cake. This is usually made during Chinese New Year and stuff as a tradition. And today we're going to step by step go through how to make it. And I've gone through tons of recipes, and I think this really works the best as it's a combination of different recipes. So today we'll need 1 kilogram of radish. We'll need wheat starch, rice flour, Chinese link sausage, and little dried shrimps, dried mushrooms, and you have the option to add dried scallops. So with the dried mushrooms, we usually use water to soak them through to soften them up. After we soften them up, then we cut off the ends. We also soak the dried shrimps just to give it some softness to it, and it's easier to cut. With the link sausages, what we do is we dice them up into nice bite size. I'm really generous with the ingredients here since we like to have every bite having texture and flavor to it. In here we have a combination of the wheat starch and the rice flour. There is 50 grams of wheat starch and 250 grams of rice flour. Over here we have some shredded radish. We use this machine over here to process it, so it cut down on a lot of time. And I have my little scale here, which I use to measure the dry ingredients. 2.5 cups of liquids to add to the mixture. This just combines everything and makes sure it's together. Okay, we're gonna start cooking the daikons and the radish so that the water comes out of it, and so when you're steaming it, it doesn't get too soggy as all the water has come out of the radish. Let's move into the kitchen. Here we have our ingredients again: the diced up mushrooms, the dried shrimps. This is of course after it's been soaked and hydrated. Here we have some sugar, pepper. We'll be using white pepper, so white peppercorn, salt, sesame oil. You have the option of using chicken broth for your liquid base, or you can use the water from your mushrooms or the shrimp. Here we have the flour mixture. We're going to add some water to it, some liquid to it to make it paste.
What kind of liquid is that?
This is mushroom water combined with shrimp water. Just until it's all combined. The next step, what we do is, I really like bringing out the flavors of the mushroom and the Chinese link sausage. So what I have here is the wok. We're going to heat it up. Add a dash of sesame oil. Toss in the ingredients. Make sure it's on high fire just to toast it and bring out the oils of the sausages. At this time, then you can add some white pepper, 2 pinches of salt, sorry, that was sugar, and some salt. Just combine all that until it's a nice sheen to it. You transfer the dry ingredients like that. Then we're going to saute and cook the radish now. We're going to use the same oil that was in the wok. After shaving it, You can tell that there's a lot of liquid from the radish. That's normal, and more liquid will actually come out as we cook. You can of course save this water and use it as your substitute instead of chicken broth, just to add to your flour later. We're on high heat right now. We're going to cook until the radish is soft. Nice and soft. Of course you can see all this liquid. We're going to pour it out. After you pour out the excess liquids, we're now going to add the flour base. So on low heat, we're going to add this in, and it's slowly going to cook. And of course you want to flip it occasionally so it doesn't turn into a cake. I usually start off with less liquid than required, just in case the dyed radish was to give off extra water and it's too watery. You can always add liquid after. So far I only added 1 cup of liquid. As you can see, they're sticking together. You wanted a pasty form, so we're going to add the remainder, 1 cup.
That's the mushroom shrimp
Yes.
juices.
I've been stirring this on low heat, and now you can tell that it's all combined and the flour has been, it's sort of cooked, but not quite fully cooked.
So we're just pre-cooking it so it can fit in the mold.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this is how you like it, the consistency. As you can see, if you cook it too long, there would be solid parts of flour. You don't want that. So now we turn off the fire, scrape off what's remaining, and now we add in mushrooms, sausages, and shrimp. Now we just combine them all, make sure it's evenly spread. Once it's all integrated, then we're going to put them into aluminum foil dish pans, and we're going to boil them. So here we have our aluminum pan. I added some oil to grease the bottom. So after you steam them, they don't stick and they're easy to come off when you want to cook it after and pan fry it. So here I have an 8-inch pan and a 6-inch pan. Usually this batch right here that we've made is good for 1 pan of 6-inch and 1 pan of 8-inch. Even it out. Now for the finishing touch, I'm going to get some of this daikon water, that radish water that we had earlier on. I'm going to just put a splash on the top. It's just so when it steams, the surface area doesn't dry up. The next step will now be to steam these. It'll take about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to steam and fully cook them. So here we have our wok. We added some water, and we also have this platform to put our tinfoil on. We don't want the water level too high, as it will overflow and go into the turnip cakes. And it would also overcook the portion on the edges if it does get. So what we're going to do, since we don't have an industrial steamer, is place the larger one on the bottom first and have 2 wooden chopsticks separating the small one. Just like this. Oops. I think I have to do the small one. This allows you to cook both at the same time and also cut down on cook, of course. After you steam the turnip cakes for 45 to an hour, then you take it out and then you put it in the fridge to chill. You want it to be nice and cold when you touch it, so it's easier to cut and it's easier to pan fry after.